welcome back to the first episode of 2024.
Wow, Happy New Year.
It's a new year, which is
year.
You know what's funny about banking these is it's not even Christmas yet for us.
Nope.
That is funny.
But for you, it's actually after New Year's.
Man.
It's 2024, which means that 2019 was 5 years ago.
Let's not talk about it. But what a long 5 years it's been.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We've had a whole half a decade of post-pandemic,
Wow.
nearly. Well, because it kind of happened in 2019.
Yeah.
Who cares? We're here to talk about, this is our year-end recap episode. Because let's go through the journey of our lives.
We were on a journey.
Imagine there's like a sad, like, dum, 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 with like clips in the ears, but I'm not making that.
That's a lot of work.
And it'd get us
Just imagine
DMCA'd. So imagine that happens. Go back and watch Roadhouse, cringe, and then come back and,
And then
watch
come
that.
back.
No, so, oh, God, I wanted to run through the list of every movie we've watched this year.
All of them?
Everyone?
Yeah, I was going to quickly go through.
All right, let's go.
But I can't find them.
I got the YouTube open.
Yeah, can you go through real quick? Just go
Yeah,
from episode 0 to 40, whatever.
All right, let me sort by oldest. All right, starting with episode 0, we have Roadhouse. Yeah, I don't know where that extra letter came in. Casablanca, Gangs of New York, Coach Carter, Groundhog Day, Pulp Fiction, Citizen Kane, Fight Club, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Django Unchained, 300, Singing in the Rain, Labyrinth, The Matrix, Inside Llewyn Davis, Seven Samurai, LA Confidential, West Side Story, Rain Man, Back to the Future, Scarface, The Machine, A League of Their Own, The Muppet Movie, The Third Man, National Treasure, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Goodfellas, The Big Sick, Gone with the Wind, and Barbie, Kill Bill, The Godfather Part 2, Blade Runner, The Departed, The Fast and the Furious, The Truman Show, The Mummy, Moneyball, Hellboy, Top Gun, The Big Lebowski, The African Queen, American Graffiti, The Maltese Falcon, Spirited Away, and 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then Die Hard.
And then, sadly, a lost episode of Tombstone.
Yeah.
Tombstone had audio issues, so
I
that one
didn't
never
even-
got released.
I forgot that movie.
Yeah.
I actually had to remember. That's why I looked at the list and not the episodes
I don't think that changes anything
when I was
for
making
me,
my
but
list, because that actually did change things for me. So
Ooh.
that's all the movies we watched this year
Man.
for the show.
Yeah.
We did watch other movies besides. We've probably,
did.
I mean, Danielle and I have probably watched close to 60 movies.
It's been a lot.
I know you, Nick Carl's watched like 157.
Plus all the
I sprinkled a
rewatches.
few more gems in there.
A lot of
Yeah.
rewatches. So
I've
it's
got
been
like 70 some, yeah.
it's been a big year. I think all in, we've probably watched 50 some odd movies in 48 or however many episodes. Missed a couple weeks because of COVID and stuff. What can you do?
It happens.
This all started last December. Wow. Pause, breathe. This all started last December around this time. When I made a movie list for my New Year's resolution, and then David, God bless him, was like, "You should make a podcast," and then I did without him in it. I still feel bad about it,
So
but I
kind.
can't imagine having 5 people on this thing. It'd be like the worst.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
gross.
We let him do one episode.
We did
Oh, you're
let
right,
we
did.
let him do. We begged him to be in one episode because Nick had the worst internet ever. So now we're here. We made it. We made a podcast for a year. It only cost $1,000, and
We made it though.
most of our sanity. We've learned how to edit.
Yep.
I've learned how to edit. You taught me how to edit.
I did.
I didn't know anything. Nick's
So
made a
smart.
bunch of thumbnails, and
Yep.
Carl's made a load of outlines and
Posted a lot of
Yeah.
stuff on social media.
posted a lot of stuff on
Some
social
of
media.
it got views.
Some people hate us on TikTok. Some people like us.
Started a Discord.
What can
Started
you
a
do?
Discord. Please join the
yeah.
Discord.
It's
and,
fun.
And you know, we've talked a lot about ways to grow in the new year, like filling this hole in the wall in with art, and you know, increasing our social presence and all that boring stuff. But that's not why we're here today. I did want to wax poetic about our past for a little bit, but
Gotta wax poetic.
we're here to recap the year. This is an episode I've been looking forward to for a really long time. So we have a couple categories of lists that we're going to go through of our favorite movies, our least favorite movies, and etc. And then we're going to end this episode with a big discussion of what the Big Room's movie of the year is going to be. And that discussion will have to be unanimous. And this could be a 3-hour
Yeah,
episode.
we have no idea how it's going to go.
We have no idea how it's going to go. Maybe
I
one
think
of
it's
us will
gonna
storm
go
off and get
easy.
replaced with David. I don't know.
I like your optimism,
I think it's
but
gonna
I
go
don't share
easier.
that belief.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know.
I think there's really...
I feel like there's some obvious candidates.
Yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
like 4 movies it could be, and
Yeah.
no less. So, but that's 10% of the movies we've watched almost. So, let's start. I'm gonna start just for format's sake, not because I'm more important.
It is your show.
It is my show.
It was
this
your-
is all well.
your
rather,
journey.
Rather, this is all my fault.
Yes. I'll agree to
So,
that.
because it's my fault, I'm going to introduce our first category of movies, and I'm going to pick mine first. And then we'll have brief discussion to move on to the next person. And the first category is going to be top 5 movies of the year. Now, some of us ranked ours, some of us didn't. I ranked mine. One of us didn't. I ranked mine.
Listen.
So I'm going to go from 5 to 1 for my top 5 movies of the year. At number 5, I have Tombstone. Okay. At number 4, I have The Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
At number 3, I have Casablanca. At number 2, I have Pulp Fiction. And at number 1, my favorite movie of the year is The Godfather Part 1. That's my list. I
Yeah.
had to put both Godfathers in there.
Yeah.
Tombstone is the one where I was like, I gotta have that because
Yeah.
I loved that movie. So that's my top 5. Any y'all expected for me to have that I didn't have? Or is that
The Big Sick.
The Big Sick? All right.
Yeah, I thought that'd be on there.
Oh, I have a-
definitely knew The Godfather. That was no surprise.
I have
Yeah,
an
I
honorable
assumed
mention.
Godfather.
I have an honorable mention too. My honorable mention is Barbie. It would have been my 6th favorite.
I feel like that wasn't on the list.
It wasn't on the list.
So I feel
but
like
yeah.
that can't count because I
That's
didn't.
true. That's
It's
true.
not a canon
True.
event.
Because Barbie would obviously be like my favorite movie of the year, but I feel like that's not fair.
All right. Any other comments on my list before we move on? So this isn't a 3-hour episode.
No, I feel like that scans.
Okay, I want to go to your list next.
Really?
Yeah, a woman.
I am a woman. It's
Name a woman.
True.
I love the name a woman trend. It's so fun.
Well,
Mother
as
Teresa.
Cameron mentioned, I did not rank mine because I thought it was just top 5. But what I did was, so we switched from.
I'm going to mention, while not mentioning, the insanity of having a top 5 list that's not.
In no
ranked.
particular
It can
order.
be in no particular order. It's my list. It can be whatever I want.
Yep. All right.
But what I did was, even though we stopped like numerically ranking everything, I kept doing it just because it was
Oh,
fun.
yeah. The star ranking she
The
made.
star ranking. And
Hmm.
I just kind of at the end of the year wanted to see like what my average was, like how many like 5s, 1s, whatever I had.
Oh, I know why your list works the way it does now.
So when I sorted my list by my ranking, I had five movies,
5 stars.
5 5-star movies, and I was like, I thought about changing them, but at the same time, they felt right.
You also had 5 1-stars, right?
Yes.
So your list was like, I'm done. Yours
Yeah.
was really easy.
Fortuitous.
So
Yeah.
All right, here's your
my
top 5.
Top 5 in no particular order is The Big Sick, The Godfather, The Godfather Part 2, Tombstone, and Singing in the Rain.
All right, so no Casablanca for you.
I would like to take a
Ah.
quick moment to say my
Someone's
3
coming around.
4.5s.
Oh, yeah.
which
So you're
is
4.5.
Pulp Fiction, Die Hard, and A League of Their Own.
Man, A League of Their Own was
Die
so
Hard
good.
got 4.5.
Die
We're
Hard's
not-
a
Die Hard was
good
really
movie.
good. I really
I
liked it.
almost put it in, but I didn't want to have recency bias, and I just like, how do you?
Yeah.
You can't take a Godfather out for me, and I wanted Tombstone in there, and Casablanca had to go, and Pulp Fiction. I mean, come on,
Pulp
I
Fiction was
just
great.
couldn't wedge Die Hard in for me personally. That's a good list, though. That's
I feel like
I'm
it's
shocked
varied.
Casablanca didn't make it. What was that for you? 4?
It was a 4.
4? All right.
I feel like I need to watch it again. It's been so long.
You had Godfather?
Yeah,
Yeah.
both
Both of
of
them?
them.
Both of them.
The Godfather really stuck with me and chased me into like YouTube rabbit holes more than any other movie this
It's-
year.
Oh, yeah.
It's an epic.
Really?
It's-
It was really
It's my
good.
favorite movie of the year.
I know it's very dark and serious, but I don't know. It just like
There's a reason
Earworms
why.
She
into my
doesn't
brain.
just like musicals.
I
It's
don't
proof.
like. I'm proud of this list. It's varied. We have a western,
Diversity.
a musical, diversity. I'm a well-rounded person.
Who do you pick to go next?
Carl.
All right.
Oh boy.
Carl Harmon's
All right.
top
I'm
5
really
shoe
curious
jokes.
because about Carl's.
I haven't gotten to that bit yet, but I love that bit.
You won't
so
get
I
there
actually
for
did a
a long
top 10 if we want to indulge that, but if not, I can start with number 5.
Let's do your 5s, and then
Okay.
we'll do your 10 after.
Starting with number 5 is Citizen Kane at number 5. Number 4, I have Goodfellas. Number 3, Pulp Fiction. Number 2, The Big Lebowski. And number 1, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Wow.
Wait, go
So-
through them again real quick.
So Citizen Kane, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, The Big Lebowski, and 2001.
No Godfather. Goodfellas over Godfather, I feel like is.
So I was trying. I knew this is what was going to happen.
That's a hot
so,
take.
and I think when we talked about in the Godfather episodes is that I liked the like expressionist qualities of Goodfellas. Like, and I compared it to the Godfather being more of a classical art piece, and Goodfellas being more of
Right,
like
I
a
remember
contemporary art piece. It was a lot more expressionistic, and I liked getting to see the characters in a more like personal way. Like The Godfather's kind of it's an epic, like you said, and then Goodfellas is more of like a personal story and journey. So that was more compelling to me. But those would be on the list, I think.
Now, what's your 10? What's your 10?
Well, actually, as I say that, I realized I didn't put them on. So number 10, I had Barbie. Number 9, I had The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Number 8 was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Number 7 was The Big Sick, and number 6 was Casablanca.
All right.
So
I like
yeah.
it. Any further comment?
And then I will pick Nick.
Nick,
Oh,
Nick gets
I'm
the,
so shocked.
we have to go in a different order so that we don't dodgeball. Someone's always last.
So number 5, I had Fight Club.
Okay.
Number 4, Citizen Kane. Number 3, Pulp Fiction. 2 is 2001, and number 1's The Godfather.
Was there one movie that was on all of our lists?
I
In our
think
top
Godfather.
five? Was Pulp Fiction in all of ours? No, Godfather wasn't. Was Pulp
Oh, he
Fiction in your
wasn't
top
in
five?
ours.
I didn't have
I think you're
Godfather
the.
in there.
I think. Did you have Pulp Fiction in your top five?
I did, yeah. It was number 3.
All right, so that's the only.
Mine
you
was
didn't have Pulp
not.
Fiction.
Oh.
Wow. So there's
Oh,
not
boy.
one movie that's in all of our. Wait, maybe picking a movie of the year is going to be.
That's what I'm worried about.
we'll find out.
All right.
It's gonna be a practice and compromise.
For
But
my-
that's different. I feel like movie of the year is. We'll see. We'll get
Yeah.
there. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
And then
All right.
just
gonna
because
be
I have it,
interesting.
number,
yeah.
number 6 was The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Do you have a 10 or just 6?
Just 6.
Okay.
One
Good,
more.
bad, ugly.
I like having just a little honorable mention
So-
because there were so many good
Yeah.
movies.
Did you have
really
Tombstone
were.
in your top 10? Or just Good? the
I
Bad,
didn't.
the
I
Ugly?
forgot about that
so
movie.
That's interesting that you two had a different Western than I had because I had Tombstone in my 5.
Honestly, I wasn't thinking about Tombstone because it wasn't
Damn,
on
that's
YouTube.
sad.
I know. I
That's-
forgot about
I
I
still
really
think
liked
I'd take Good, Bad, and Ugly over Tombstone.
I feel
I
like
might
that's.
swap-
Clint Eastwood
Which-
is. You
I
can't not
feel
pick
like
that one.
that's the right answer. It's still not my answer. I think I like Tombstone more than The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
the mysterious Blondie. Come on.
Well, yeah, and I feel like there's something to be
Yeah.
said about the just a little more modern with, and also Val Kilmer. I mean, come
What a
on.
character! Oh my god.
Destroys in that movie.
Yeah.
He
I'm your
destroys.
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry.
I was just playing. I wasn't. God, I should have. Oh,
I think
I could almost swap Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with that one, or maybe bump
Start
Barbie and
over.
add the
Restart
other
the
movie in there.
episode.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I hate him. Man, a good movie. Good movie.
God,
Bye.
All right, for our next, well, bye is so good. Oh man. All right, for our next guest, we have biggest surprise.
Our next guest.
Yeah. No, I just wanted a Letterman in there. You know, my,
Okay,
my
okay,
late
okay.
night obsession. Our next category is surprise of the year. This is our
Yep.
this is our movie that surprised us. I'll go first, of course. This is where The Big Sick comes in for me. It didn't make my
Ooh,
top 5.
okay.
I don't think it's better than any of the other movies I mentioned, but it was. I didn't know what to expect. And of all the movies we watched, that is the one that I enjoyed way more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that movie.
I know you did.
It's like my.
I was so glad.
It knocks The Proposal off my favorite
Really?
rom-com. Yeah, The Big Sick's
Ooh.
incredible. I'd watch it today.
I want to watch it
Yeah.
again for
And
sure.
that's not. I wouldn't say I'd watch it today about more than a handful of movies. Like
a lot of these
I wouldn't
movies
watch.
are a lot.
In
I wouldn't
general.
watch The Godfather again today, and it's my favorite movie of the
I mean,
year.
I'll watch it again.
Again, but not right now. Like right now, we have to go watch a movie. A Big Sick is like right at the top of my list.
Yeah.
Um,
The Godfather, you're
that-
like planning it out a
Yeah.
little bit.
it's
Yeah, you
The
have to schedule
Godfather.
It's an
that movie.
event.
It's like watching
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings trilogy because that it's an emotional roller coaster as well. Like man, when at the end of Return
true.
of the King, you're like,
You're tired.
oh God, I can't watch this again for a year.
I say that's true. I've only seen the first Lord of the Rings.
We gotta
but
do.
I get it.
We
Oh
gotta
my God,
do
there are a lot.
Lord of the Rings. Maybe we'll kick Danielle off and have Speed be a co-host or shove a chair in here again.
I mean, He could talk about it way better than I
Like,
could.
wow, we have to go through Lord of the Rings next year. And let's just go right to you for your surprise.
Biggest surprise for me was Seven Samurai.
All right. That was close for me.
I didn't know anything about samurai, and I had a really bad perception of it.
Yeah.
So it was a nice surprise, and I assume because it was black and white, different language, I'd hate it. But it was
Yeah,
it was
black
a
and
good
white
one.
and different language and like what 3.5, 4 hours long.
It was
Yeah.
It was a long movie. We actually stopped at the intermission and did a 2-day.
That was our first intermission movie, right?
It was our first
think
intermission
so.
movie.
Yeah.
And the only one that Danielle and I split in half, I think, because we did Gone with the Wind in one long.
Yeah, we
ass
did.
day. Who do you pick?
I pick Carl.
Let's just go backwards.
All right.
We're just snaking.
it's like a snake trap.
Yeah. For the biggest surprise, I also had The Big Sick.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a couple others on there. Like Moneyball was also a good one. Like I don't love sports, but that was a great movie. But The Big Sick was like well and beyond like a delight. Yeah. So
Delight
Moneyball's
is a
great
good
movie.
because it's heavy
Yeah.
subject matter, but man,
Yeah,
what a
but
delightful movie.
Kumail, his comedic timing is just so good, but his dramatic acting is also very, very good,
Yeah.
and just the story's great. Like, yeah, it's a great movie.
Her parents, like that cast of Ray Romano and
Oh my God, yeah.
The 9/11.
This is incredible.
the 9/11
stands out to
joke.
me as
Yeah.
like one of the best quotes of any movie we
Lost
watched.
Yeah.
12 of our best guys. All right. What's your biggest surprise?
Tuna's a gamble.
So I was torn between two,
What-
but I ranked one higher.
Okay.
So that's going to be Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
What was your second?
Seven Samurai.
All right. Yeah.
Nice.
'Cause-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
You
was,
had seen Big Sick before, or
No.
why was that not surprising?
I hadn't. I knew it was a rom-com and I knew I usually liked them. So that wasn't like when it was great.
You're
I was
well-versed
like,
in
of
that
course.
genre.
For your
You
lane,
know?
yeah.
You definitely had a negative connotation of Westerns going in.
Yes. I was like, this is going to be boring. I'm not going to like it.
I think you were around when I watched Fistful of Dollars for the first time, and you were like,
and I was like,
snooze.
which is why I didn't want to watch Good, the Bad, and the Ugly because I was like, God, I just. So, but then when I really liked Butch Cassidy, and it was kind of the same thing with Seven Samurai. I was like, it's black and white, it's long,
It's Japanese.
it's in Japanese,
It's
like
old.
it's gonna be slow, but it was so like endearing and lovely and dramatic and well done, all
Yeah.
the things.
It's a good movie. All right.
So.
Now this is the meat. This is what the people want. Is our bottom five. Our bottom five movies. And I have mine ranked from least worst to worst.
Least
how I
worst
fun-
to
And I will
worst.
say this
Worstest.
this took me half the time that my favorite movies took me. This was instant. It was just in what order, basically. So my number 5 for me was The Machine.
Really?
What?
That movie's bad. Number
Okay,
number
gotta let him get through.
Number 4 for me is Gangs of New York. Number
Knew that'd be
3
on there.
is Labyrinth.
Labyrinth
Sarah.
is
Labyrinth's
trash.
not
Magic
very
Dance.
good, Sarah. Number 2 is Gone with the Wind.
That's number 2?
Yeah, and number 1, my least favorite movie that we watched because it made me so angry,
I don't know.
is West Side Story, which is a
Ah.
dog shit movie. I
Yeah.
hate that movie so much. Like I was saying to her, we had a tertiary conversation about this list and basically and this was casual, like this was weeks ago, whether we hated West Side Story or Gone with the Wind more. And for me, Gone with the Wind at least had somewhat of substance, and West Side Story was just boring. The songs were bad. It was a lot of white dudes in brown face. And then, and what was interesting is like in the same way that Mark Wahlberg shooting the dude in the head at the end of the Departed kind of flipped that movie for me, and I was like, oh, that was a good ending. If she had killed herself at the end of West Side Story, I would have been like, all right, this is a true Romeo and Juliet. But they pulled that punch, and
true.
I'll never forgive that movie
Forgot.
for it. They bitched out, and that movie sucks and is bad. But you are appalled at The Machine being on my list.
Out of all the movies,
Yeah.
Out of all the movies, I had fun watching that movie. I think if anyone but Bert is in the leading role, that movie is forgettable and bad.
but that movie doesn't exist without him either.
Exactly. It's a bad movie. I don't think that,
Well,
like,
that's not a. You can't judge him.
I think
Just because he has to exist for it to be a movie makes it a bad movie.
I don't think the plot was good. I think that
It's real life.
I think that we like that it's not.
It's real life.
I think we all watched that
we just
movie and liked it because we're like, oh, Bert's doing the thing, but
Yeah.
it's not a good movie.
There's also just machine fatigue. We've heard the story for 9 years. You know, it's like
I thought you were gonna say 100%.
100%. No. I just don't think like especially like it's got to be the lowest Rotten Tomatoes scored movie on the list by a mile. But I don't put it on the list with vitriol. I just don't think it's a good movie.
No, that's fair.
That's why it's in the 5 spot.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie. I don't know if I had an honorable mention.
I had
did
way
not.
more visceral reactions to other movies than I did The Machine. Like, it was fine. You know, I was like, it's fine.
Well, I had visceral reactions to the top 3. I forget what my 4th one even was. My 4th one was Gangs of New York. I hated that movie too.
You knew that one. We all knew that
So
was
the
coming.
thing with me is I hated 4 movies that we watched. I was indifferent to probably 25 movies that we watched. Then I was like, The Machine wasn't very good. So it had to go in the 5th slot.
That's what I was telling Carl. I felt like my top 3 worst movies were easy, but the 4 and 5 were hard to get to.
I think a lot of that is just the nature of the list in that it was a lot of top 100, top 50, top 25 listicles I read to make, from the National Film Institute and all kinds of sources, IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, that like we might have a lot more stinkers in 2024 as we kind of are pulling straws at random.
Newer
more
movies
so,
too
and
that
newer
no
movies.
one knows.
Rewatching movies that are coming out, like, yes, I wanna pick Carl for his bottom 5 next. And
I'm
just,
really-
You don't want to
shake
go.
I'm really curious.
No. I want to shake it up because this is the only other combination we can have with me picking.
Yeah.
So.
all right. So starting at number 5, I have Back to the Future.
What?
Number 4,
Valid.
number 4, Coach Carter.
Oh,
Number 3, Gone with the Wind. Number 2, Singing in the Rain. Number 1, West Side Story.
West
So
Side
we share
Story is the
some-
worst movie.
Yeah, some overlap there.
I forgot. You know what? If I had to redo it, I might put Coach Carter in the Machine spot.
Coach Carter.
I kind of forgot how bad Coach Carter was. That movie is boo.
But Back to the Future?
Back to the Future
No.
does not deserve to be in bottom 5.
Well, all the other movies I kind of like. I had a hard time with the bottom 5 because I was like, I kind of would watch Labyrinth again, but I don't think it was an amazing movie.
You
but
would watch
now
Labyrinth
watching
again,
Harmontown-
like with friends.
because
as a
now
bit.
I know, like, right, yeah, or like, and I would watch Roadhouse again because it's not an amazing movie, but it's still a fun movie. There's a lot of movies that were just like maybe not amazing, but I would watch again. But I would not watch Back to the Future again.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
Also,
Back to
I
the
got I got drained because I watched all 3,
That's true.
and I think so
Are
know
you
it's-
just maybe you're just remembering the 3rd bad one and not how good
Maybe,
the first one
yeah,
is?
yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, maybe-
I don't think it had.
Well,
I think it's
yeah,
fun,
this-
but like, is it the most substantial movie we watched?
I think it's different enough from
Especially for
every other movie we've watched
It is,
to not be bottom
but
5.
it tiptoes into. Like,
I'm not
the
saying it's even my top 10, but
It tiptoes into sci-fi a little bit,
a little bit.
and man, when you enter the sci-fi realm, you're up against some hitters.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's a fine movie. I don't know about bottom 5 for me, but
Yeah.
like as far as, but you love everything.
Well, that's what I was like going through, and I was
kinda
just
where
like,
you're
man,
at.
Yeah, I did really like a lot of the movies, but they're also on the top 100 list. So they're like the only ones that were kind of like didn't make it were just the personal picks. I was like, yeah, Coach Carter's definitely not making it.
Coach
but like,
Carter sucked.
Coach
That's
Carter
a
was
bad movie.
I also just had really, high expectations for the cultural like impression of Back to the Future, and that just didn't meet it. So I was just like, oh, this movie sucks. So
All right.
maybe I just didn't get it. Let me know in the comments.
You have any other mentions or anything?
Edit.
I had put The Machine on as a honorable mention for number 6, but I didn't want Bert to get upset, so I took it off.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, he got our money. All right.
Yeah.
Who goes next?
I'll pick Danielle.
Me.
Best for last. I'm so excited for Nick's. Not that you're
I
not the
am-
best.
I'm the best. We're all
I'm the
we're
best.
all equally
He
the
just said
best.
it.
We're all equally the best.
Nick has never thrown diamonds away.
Shut up.
Threw another diamond away.
Nick has thrown
promise
plenty
I
of
never will.
things away.
Yeah. All right.
Name
go
That's
ahead.
one.
a
Name
story for
one.
another time.
Oh, I have gifts
You've
for you.
broken things.
Oh,
I have like glassware and
Nice.
stuff.
Some
All right,
other
go ahead.
some other things if you want them. All right. So in direct conflict to Nick and Carl,
Oh boy.
in no particular order,
Damn it.
these are all of my bottom 1-star movies.
These are all 5 of your 1 stars. You had 5 1 stars.
I had 5
to
1 stars. Blade Runner sucked. The Big Lebowski sucked.
Okay.
Labyrinth sucked.
All right.
Gangs of New York sucked. Gone with the Wind sucked. Honorable
So-
mention.
The last 3 you said are
Labyrinth.
or the 3 that I had on my list.
Some of
as
our
well.
Those-
top movies.
But wow, Big Lebowski, and what was your other one?
Blade Runner.
That's
Blade
our
Runner
most
is
viewed episode.
wild.
1 star.
Yeah.
Big Lebowski is our most viewed episode.
Didn't like.
Blade Runner, you not liking Blade Runner is insane.
What was your?
Are you
Honorable
that
mention?
surprised by
No,
me
I'm
not
not, but
liking Blade Runner?
I liked that movie.
Nah.
good movie.
1 star. Boo. Here's my honorable mention.
I'm wondering if
you guys are gonna get more mad.
I'm wondering if you would like Blade Runner if we hadn't watched the director's cut and had watched the studio released, to be blunt, dumbed down version.
I thought it was boring, and like there wasn't any emotional connection because I know they're robots, but again, that's why I don't like it because I want.
You might not be. I want to watch other.
I don't think I like sci-fi,
No,
And
well, it's cyberpunk, and I'm wondering.
but that's a genre of
yeah.
sci-fi.
There's
the
a
umbrella, yeah.
there's a cyberpunk movie that I think we should watch in next year. I know we have 112 movies, but I would love to watch Demolition Man. All right, go ahead.
So my 2 1.5 star movies.
Oh no,
300.
I like
Okay.
300.
Wait, it gets worse.
The closer you get.
God.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Stop
Oh
it.
my god!
Boo.
You're telling me
You gave that a
2001
one and a
don't-
half.
you don't like 20-minute shots of green going into
That's not all that
yellow,
movie
going
is.
into red.
That's not all that movie
No.
is.
I'm gonna go spacewalk.
That's 20 minutes of a 2-hour movie.
Hate us in
Yeah,
the
just
comments.
the hands just turning.
20
Yeah.
minutes.
Watch them turn. No cuts allowed.
And
This
300.
is space in
was
real time.
meh.
I like 300.
Nah,
good movie.
didn't like it.
I thought about having that in my top 5, but I was like, I
Yeah.
can't.
That would be
That's
egregious.
I was like, I should just do a dude bro top 5. And it's like The Matrix, Fight Club, 300, The Big Lebowski, and just like all the
Yeah.
bullshit movies. But,
All right, Nick.
Um,
Round us off with your least favorite movies of the year.
you are gonna hate me. for
I'm
some of
so
these. It's like-
excited.
He's
Let
like,
me-
Godfather sucks.
Let me.
'cause it's too
That
long.
was my number 1 movie. Shut up.
Casablanca because I didn't get it.
Okay, a couple notes here. One, I feel like it was way easier to make my top list than my bottom
Oh,
list.
opposite of me.
Because I had like a top of like the 4 or 5 star movies, and then the rest were just like 3, 3.5. So like the
That's
second
how bell curves work.
the second half of the list, it was hard to
That's statistics.
it was hard to pick 5.
If Casablanca is in your bottom 5, we're throwing
Okay, that's the
hands.
other note.
We're throwing
I
hands.
Oh, no.
I didn't put Casablanca in my top or my bottom 5. Definitely not my
Thank
top
God.
because I know that's more of a me issue.
You have to watch
And
it again.
It can't. Yeah, it can't be bottom.
I think in a
There's
I think
no person with a brain would put it in their bottom.
No, I think in a post Maltese Falcon and Citizen Kane world, you would enjoy Casablanca.
I think so.
So
It was rough. That was our first outside of Roadhouse. That was
Yeah.
our first movie.
Yeah.
yeah, we opened the
We really
gates with
dropped
episode
into
1
the
was
classics.
Casablanca,
yeah.
yeah. All right, go ahead.
But bottom 5, and I think at least the top 2 are in order. Blade Runner,
Hey, let's go.
300. I got you.
Hey.
Carl.
I'm about to get punched in the face. Number 3, Inside
This is
Llewyn
Sparta.
Davis.
Hey.
Oh, come on, Nick.
Nick
no.
is so bad at this.
That almost made it to my top 5.
David just shut off the episode. He's like, this sucks. God.
Number 2, Labyrinth, and
Alright.
number 1, Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. So, what was your number 1? Was it Gone
My
with the
least
Wind?
favorite was West Side Story.
West Side Story. All right. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my least favorite, too. But we're all like West Side Story and Gone with the Wind were bad movies.
I didn't say that.
Oh. Would you
But
like
you
West
would.
Side Story or you like Gone with the Wind?
West Side Story wasn't on my bottom chunk.
What a piece of shit movie. Wow. All right. Our second to last category, our last joint category before we get into discussion time. Biggest disappointment. I want to go last for this one and build the
I
tension.
want to go first.
All right, you go first. I'll go last.
So West Side Story was not on my bottom list because it was my biggest disappointment.
Because you are a musical person.
Because I love musicals. So I was like watching a musical. I'm ready to be happy and sing. And it was terrible.
Bummer
For all
movie.
the reasons we've already said, because it was on two
Yeah,
of our
we've
bottom
waxed
lists.
poetic.
But yeah,
All right.
disappointment.
Pick one of these nerds.
Let's go, Nick.
My biggest disappointment is also my bottom 5.
Okay.
300.
300 was your biggest disappointment.
It's just men in Speedos.
It's a good movie.
Disappointed.
Just cocks and
I
spears.
liked it
10
for
out of
that
10.
reason.
Yeah, exactly. Carl and I've learned
Just sweaty men.
through
in
this year. I've
Speedos.
learned that Carl and I are very compatible as both friends and lovers. Carl, go with your biggest disappointment.
Well, I teased this a little bit, but Back to the Future was my biggest disappointment because I've only heard good things about it, and it just, for whatever reason, didn't click with me. And I know that's probably a me issue too, but that's where I'm at. So maybe I'll rewatch it one day and I'll come back and let you guys know how I feel. But it just didn't do it for me. I just thought it was kind of goofy, and don't know what all the fuss is about.
All right, I've got a scathing hot take for my biggest disappointment of the year. My biggest disappointment of the year is Martin Scorsese.
Ugh.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
He sucks.
You're painting with a broad brush.
Just him in general?
I actually wrote a little bit.
Okay.
So
All
The
right, let us
Departed
know.
was mid, Gangs of New York was bad, and Goodfellas was good, but 33% is a failing grade.
Yeah.
So-
Wasn't there
you know-
another Scorsese we watched, or was it just 3? I don't
Gangs of New York. The
Yeah.
Departed and Goodfellas. I think it was
Okay.
just the 3. I think it was
All
just
right.
the 3. So, yeah,
know. That's good. Yep.
Wow.
I didn't like him. I feel like of all, like every other legendary director, I'm like Tarantino, for example. Like, even though I thought Django was like I liked it, but it wasn't as good to me as like Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction, obviously. I'm like, I get it. I get why this guy is held to the standard. Gangs in New York, I hated that movie so much. And then for The Departed to kind of fall flat, I was like, maybe this guy is just not for me. Now I'm putting it out there fully that he's not for me. Like I'm sure he's a legendary director, but also nobody likes Killers of the Flower Moon. That movie's too long. And,
I haven't seen it yet.
So I haven't seen it either, and I'm not going to,
But-
because what I've learned throughout this year is that Scorsese, I don't like him. I don't like his movies. And my other one, because if I had to pick one movie for biggest disappointment outside of Scorsese, American Graffiti. I expected more out of that movie.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie just kind of was rapey, and Ron Howard was
Not in it.
bad
enough.
person, not in it enough. I don't know what I don't know. I expected more Grease without singing, and I got boring. It's dumb. I
Knock
didn't like
off
that.
Grease.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie. Now, I understand that American Graffiti walked so Grease could run, and for that I am thankful. But I expected to really. I'm like, it's George Lucas. I'll really like it.
Disappointment.
And
Yeah.
meh, 60% for me. That movie, dumb. Didn't like it.
I wonder if you would like Taxi Driver, because that's like Scorsese's like pinnacle. That's his Pulp Fiction. Like I wonder if
Really?
you would like that. Yeah. So maybe I
am
it's
willing to
not
try
surprising.
more.
You're usually so compatible, Cameron.
I know, I know, I know.
Okay.
I know, but I just didn't
Let's
like
talk about our relationship.
I feel like that was my my earliest like hot take was Gangs of New York. That movie is bad. I don't like it.
That was like episode 3, right? Or
Yeah.
2?
It was
That was
really
really,
Two or
really
three. It was
on.
really early, and it was.
Yeah.
the
I was
first
out
one.
for that one. I never got
Yeah,
to
I needed your help with
justify-
that, Nick.
Yeah,
I never got to
Ugh.
justify liking it, and I honestly don't remember much, so that might be telling.
that movie sucks. I didn't like it at all. All right, it's time for the best part of the episode. Take it away.
We have our Hot Point Awards.
Do you want to do your ugly one first?
That's what I'm going to do. I was
Yeah.
about to lead into that.
Letter.
Sorry.
First.
Listen, I'm just trying to make the show good.
No, we appreciate it. First, we are going to have our coldest men of the year, which means they were not hot. These are in a particular order.
Thank God. Some
So-
structure from stage left.
The hot point scale didn't come around until about halfway through this journey. So we
Right.
have a few honorable hot and not hot mentions.
Do you remember what the first
Waiting for this all year.
movie was? that
It
you
was
did?
Butch Cassidy and the
Butch
Sundance
Cassidy.
Kid, which
Right.
is also how I ended up liking it, because I was like, I'm going to make this fun for me. Judging men.
Briefly.
Briefly,
Hot Points is a dictatorship, and it is only men.
yes, it is only men.
Because men deserve to be objectified after,
Yes, they
after millennia of women objectification. So this
Yeah.
is a dictatorship that Danielle runs, and the rest of us have no input, nor should we. Go ahead.
All up to me. So our coldest men of the year, coming in with a dishonorable mention, is Benjamin Franklin Gates from National Treasure. Not hot.
Also, Benjamin Franklin Gates.
I had to say the name.
That is the last name I thought was going to come out of your mouth.
Benjamin
Franklin.
I also just wanted to say the name because Cameron hates it
Benjamin
so much.
Franklin
Do we have
Gates.
points for them or just a
No,
ranking?
he's a dishonorable mention because he was prior to the hot point scale.
Okay.
So now these are the numbered ones. So I have 2 1s and 2 0s. So coming
Wow,
in at
zeros.
a what? Yeah,
On a scale of 1 to 5, there are 0.
they're zeros.
Damn, dude.
It's really a scale from 1 to 10.
Oh,
But-
even super worse. They're in the gutter, dude. Who's in the gutter?
I'll tell you. So coming in with a 1, Maverick from Top Gun, not hot.
What about that tooth, though?
Not hot.
Center tooth.
Center tooth.
Also at a 1, the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Well, that's just like your
Not hot.
opinion, man.
Thank you.
It's my valid opinion. He's not hot.
The Big Lebowski is every day that passes, that movie grows on me in my memory. Actually, go ahead.
Dude, it's amazing.
At a 0, we have, I don't remember if this is the character's name or the actor's name. I think it's the actor's
Wow.
name.
He's so
Oh,
forgettable.
that's how ugly they are.
So forgettable and ugly.
Benedict Cumberbatch. No, I'm just
and
kidding.
dead. So that means
And dead. Holy shit.
Oh,
Thinking I was like, good.
Pissing on their grave with a 0 is
Ray Liotta from Goodfellas.
Ray Liotta.
Oh, man.
Just recently died.
0.
Just he's still warm.
I'm dying. I'm sorry.
Ray Liotta with a 0. Wow, man.
I didn't like Goodfellas that much.
I guess. So dead.
He was panicked and he had bad collars and his mouth was too
It was
big.
the 70s.
Not hot.
bad
I don't
collars.
know.
Panicked and bad collars.
The fashion wasn't it,
He
okay?
was too sweaty at the end of the
He
movie.
was so sweaty. Okay.
Yeah, not the killing or anything else. Just
No,
Sweaty.
murder's fine.
murder's
Flip
hot.
it.
Danielle, soft on murder.
Okay, our very bottom
Hard
of
on
the
collars.
list. At another 0.
This is the worst one.
the worst one.
This is only 2 zeros.
Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
That was
He's kind of a sleazeball.
frankly,
a
my
little bit.
dear, I don't give a damn. He got 0 points because of,
miscarriages
miscarriages and beating
Throwing his wife
Throwing
down the
him
stairs.
throwing his
Downstairs,
wife
yeah.
down the stairs.
God, he
Not
did
good,
that.
not hot behavior. We don't. You have to be a respectful king. Come on.
Hot-tempered behavior.
I have to gather myself now.
Now we
After
go
that
down.
laughter.
Hottest guys.
We're gonna move on now to the stars. So, hottest men of the
Dog's
year.
got a knot on her undercarriage. She needs to be combed. That's what I'm messing with. All right, I'm gonna put the dog down.
All right.
Stop being distracted.
Coming in with an honorable mention, we have Rick from Casablanca
Oh.
Okay.
and Django from Django Unchained.
Wow.
He's pretty hot.
These are honorable
Yeah.
mentions.
These are honorable mentions.
Jamie Foxx mentioned. Go
They
ahead.
didn't, exist. They watched before the scale existed. All right. So, some of these are interesting. The rest of the list. Coming in at a 7 was Brad Pitt in Moneyball. Not
Whoa.
Fight
Okay.
Club,
Whoa.
Moneyball.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. I think Fight Club Brad Pitt, too crazy, not hot.
But you put him in an Oakland A's hat.
I know. I had to let it go.
Give him a
He's
team
only
to
a
manage,
he's
yeah.
only a 7.
You did say last night though that your A's hatred has been maybe eclipsed.
It's been eclipsed
By the
by how much
Dodgers.
goddamn money that baseball spends on their players. It's ridiculous.
The Dodgers,
It's stupid.
It's
who lost
pretty
to
bananas.
the Diamondbacks in the playoffs, a team that spends no money on anything, just spent $1 billion on 2 pitchers from Japan.
Two pitchers.
Two
Two.
pitchers.
You can only
700,
have one at a time.
700 mil on Shohei Ohtani and 325 mil on oh shit, I can't remember his name because I'm a bad person. Go ahead.
All right, coming in also at a 7 is Val Kilmer from Tombstone.
Okay.
Tombstone.
You
Even
rated
so,
him low
he's a
because he was
7.
sweaty and had
He
tuberculosis.
had tuberculosis, so he lost some
Okay.
points.
If
Not
he didn't have
Top
that,
Gun?
what would it be?
I don't know.
What about Top Gun?
No, Val Kilmer. in
Maybe
Top Gun
like an
can
8
suck
or
it.
a 9.
Oh.
So
Wait, that's Top Gun Val Kilmer?
No,
or
no,
Val
no,
Kilmer
no.
from
no.
Top Gun Val
Tombstone
Kilmer.
with
Tombstone Val
Not
Kilmer.
worth
Okay.
talking about.
I don't remember
Okay.
the character's name.
Yeah, all right.
Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday.
Nice.
because it's really tied to the characters, not the actors.
Yeah.
But also at an 8 is Kumail from The Big Sick.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to Kumail.
Shout out to
dude.
Kumail. Coming in at a 9 is Kurt Russell from Tombstone.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Hotter than Val Kilmer for you. Interesting.
That's what the points.
TB.
That's what the points decided. TB will get you.
Tuberculosis will get you in more ways than one.
And our
He's on his
only
deathbed. Not the hot.
Our
Not
only
the hot
perfect
points.
score.
our only perfect score of the year.
Hot points are taking.
She has
Our
a prop.
hottest man.
Go to the solo cam.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Produce to the podcast.
Yeah.
Is our
Very
king
nice.
the Sundance Kid?
Oh my God.
God,
Look
look
at
at
it.
that
Perfect.
Look
guy.
at
Full
him.
10. Hot.
hat.
Stash,
We
perfect
stand.
hair,
He'll
perfect
keep you
hat.
safe. He rocks a hat and a leather jacket. He's accurate with his pistol.
Put him on the wall.
Bravo. I can't do it very
Yeah.
gracefully, but he will be on the wall behind me when you see us next time.
All right. That's the
So-
hottest
I love
man
it.
of the
That
year.
is the hottest man of the year.
Hot points. The
Very
best part of the
nice.
show.
Thank you to all that participated, aka me.
All right. I just made up a category in my head that's just for
Ooh.
Carl so that he can mention what his favorite song of the year was from a
Oh,
movie.
God.
So we can talk about how much he
I
listened
might need
to.
a minute.
No. What's the one from the
Your
Good, the
number
Bad, and the
one
Ugly?
stream.
I didn't consider that a song. I was thinking like music, like
No.
singing song.
Your
So,
number
yeah,
one soundtrack song.
If you follow me on Instagram, you know that my Spotify Wrapped has decided or decreed that my number one song was the Trio from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the Standoff song. I listened to that 55 times this year, and we watched that movie like in May or something. So
Yeah.
that's like half a year. I mean, it must have been like 3 times a month or more, like a week. You know, like it's. I have a problem. I have obsessive tendencies.
An addictive
So, yeah.
personality, one
Addictive
might say.
personality.
Yeah. Some might call it mania. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
It's an
my
amazing
God.
song. If you haven't listened to it or watched that movie, do both.
Yeah.
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 Ooh.
All right, I'm looking at what time we're at. Actually,
41
this is good.
minutes.
So yeah, so no time limit. We now have to, as a collective, pick the Big Rooms movie of the year. And these will all of these categories will be social media posts at some point for posterity, if you will.
Yeah.
But movie of the year will be a tough one.
Do we want to just each person give their recommendation?
Yeah, I'll
and
start.
then we kind of.
I'll kind of put some candidates forward, maybe. Like what
Get
were
us
our-
rolling.
what were our- I wish I had a list of our bangers, and I don't.
I really thought we were going to have overlap in our top.
More overlap in the
Yeah.
top. I mean,
Yeah.
The Godfather is an obvious candidate. I would put forward Casablanca even as a candidate. I would put forward. I mean, Nick will torpedo that one. So that's the thing. I don't want the episode to be 40 minutes of trying to convince Nick that Casablanca was good.
I'll watch it again.
I
Yeah.
mean, Tombstone was really good.
Yeah.
Seven
Fiction
Fight
seemed
Club.
like a.
Fight Club, Seven Samurai, Pulp Fiction. Like these are all.
Seven Samurai isn't the best though.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what movie of
I
the year
think-
even means. Like
Yeah,
this
I was
is-
gonna
What
say-
does it
Kane.
mean?
I think
Citizen Kane. Danielle won't go for that.
I'm not gonna go see
Yeah.
because Citizen. I know we need Citizen Kane to get other things, but I think other things perfected it better than Citizen Kane did.
Ooh.
So that's why I
can
don't
see
think
that.
it's the number
Yeah, that's
one.
a walk so that others could run
Yeah.
kind of deal. Same thing with American Graffiti to
Which
Grace.
is
Mhm.
why I don't think 2001 is either.
No, I don't think
Oh, yeah, I
2001
wouldn't
can be
even-
Because it
considered.
was
Yeah.
I'll never watch that movie again. And in fact, I was watching the Light and Magic docu-series on Disney Plus about ILM, and George Lucas mentions how Flash Gordon from the 30s was a big inspiration on Star Wars, and he spent like 30 seconds saying, in 2001, although all those shots were way too slow, and I'm like, valid. I'm validated by George Lucas, a man who made 3 good movies.
For me, movie of the year is going to be like one that has a very well written story and like a compelling story,
Right.
which is why I put Godfather number 1 on my list.
Yeah, for me, it's got to like Pulp Fiction. We all loved. It was pretty to look at. The story was interesting. The acting was great.
It's
the
got-
like all the pieces were
There's-
there.
there's
From all
It's
angles.
iconic. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that movie, but there's also nothing wrong with either Godfather.
I'm about to say that or their Godfather for me. I think,
I think that's where I'm
but
at
I don't.
too.
I honestly don't know which Godfather.
I think it's.
I
gotta
like
be-
the first
I think
one
it's gotta
better.
Be part
I
one.
Really?
The second one wasn't. Godfather was my
The-
number 1. Godfather 2 isn't even in my top 5.
The first one feels like they're building the mythos, and that feels like a good time to pull. Like when he's getting the hand kiss, whatever, and they
At the
close the
very
door.
end,
That's
yeah.
like the perfect ending for me. Yeah, and then you go into like the reality of all the problems in the second one. He's like, oh, I got to deal with this and this and this, and it's like that takes me out of it. I want the first one more.
Michael's character
like
arc, like his character's done by the time Godfather Part 2 starts.
Yeah, you can only detract from that point. Once you get into the gritty reality of being the boss, then it's like, oh, now we're
And
working.
I'm
you
a
know?
sucker for the beginnings of things too. Like Fellowship is my favorite Lord of the Rings. A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars. Godfather Part 1 is my favorite Godfather for that same reason. Like I like intros. Iron Man's my favorite MCU movie. I like the first thing
The origin story.
Yeah.
a lot.
And even like the brothers in Godfather were
Yeah.
really fleshed out
Yeah.
characters.
Right.
You cared when they died.
Danielle felt sorry for one, and
Except
then
for
hated him in
Frito.
the second.
Frito sucks.
I really
sucks.
wanted him.
Him and his jewel.
I believed in him.
Frito's Joel.
He let me down.
Yeah, he let us all down.
What about Fast and the Furious? Thoughts?
No, not Fast and Furious. Although,
No?
what is
Finally.
he sandwich crazy is still that's my line of the year. What is he sandwich crazy?
What is he? Sandwich crazy?
That's my line of the year.
What about
Maybe
the
Big
twist?
Sick is the big room pick because we all liked Big Sick.
I think like Big Sick feels like it feels like an affront to all these classic movies. But honestly,
Big
like,
Sick
is
made me
it-
feel the
But
Was
we're
it
not
the-
classically trained movie watchers, so
was
of
it
course
the
we're not.
best movie
it'd
of
be-
the year? No. Was it my favorite movie of the year?
Well,
For me, it'd be a toss up between Big Sick and Pulp Fiction. I like as far as, and again, I feel like it's a little unfair to Godfather because I'd seen it, some of it before, and I'd seen most of Part 1 before. There was a lot of Part 1 I hadn't seen, like the hospital subplot. I hadn't seen the beginning with the wedding thing, but I had seen the part of The Godfather that I had seen is maybe the most seminal part, which is Michael's first hit that he does in the diner.
oh man,
Oh yeah.
I had seen that before. I knew about the hidden gun. I knew about all that stuff. So, like, one of the most important parts of the movie was not fresh to me. I was watching it with a lot of knowledge going in because it's my dad really loves the Godfather movies. So,
this may muddy the waters, but it's not the best movie of the year. It's
No,
the
no,
Big
no.
Room movie of the year,
It's
so we
our
don't have
movie of
to
the year.
use those
That's true.
qualifiers.
I don't know.
it's a movie
The
that
Big Sick feels too. I don't know.
in my mind, it's a movie that's going to get like a ribbon on an Instagram post.
Like
And I don't know if Big Sick really deserves that.
no, it's like The Big Sick is like a normal movie.
It's why it's
I loved
surprise
it.
of the year and not in my top 5.
but it's
for
not
that
like
reason.
It's not a masterpiece.
No.
Can I
and-
throw two other ones out there?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pulp Fiction, Fight Club. I think those two movies got the best reaction out of us.
And for me,
Fight
Pulp
Club is
Fiction,
an amazing movie.
but Pulp Fiction is
but-
leagues above Fight Club.
Well,
Yeah,
Fight
I'm
Club
just saying,
has
but
that
they both
has
have-
that insane twist that you can only watch it once. You know.
But
you
then
can only watch it once.
But
you
then
can
if-
only watch it for the first time once.
that see if you had you said that.
That's put them side by side. I said the exact same thing.
No. It's the same. It's just as dumb actually both ways. You can only watch it for the first time once. It's dumb because you can only do anything for the first time once.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I don't know. I just
Carl's blurry.
Carl's blurry.
Oh
He
no.
laughed too hard for the audio listeners. Carl's blurry. Let's
How
let
about
him
give us
sort it
a-
out.
Hey,
There he is, there he is,
Zach.
there he is.
right.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't even personally consider Fight Club. Just because
Okay.
it's not. I would if we're
it's
gonna
the twist.
consider
It's the reveal of
Yeah.
Tyler.
the
It
twist
didn't
is
make it to
big.
any of our top fives, did it?
No,
it made it
Was it in
mine.
your top
I
five?
made
Nick?
it, Nick.
Okay. One
Number
out of
5.
4.
I mean one of the other ones that I
Barely.
would pros would like as far as old movies. Like again, Danielle's never gonna go for Citizen Kane. I wouldn't go for it either, to be honest. As far as classic movies go, 2 classic movies sit above all the rest that we watched: Casablanca and Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is so important. Casablanca, I mean, like when you think, or at least I did before this journey, when I think of old movies, I don't think of good plots and good plot development and an interesting storyline. And holy crap, Casablanca was incredible. I loved that movie.
Yeah. That movie kind of opened our eyes to the possibility of like early cinema because I rewatched that episode and we were all just like, we didn't think old movies were gonna do anything. Like
Right.
we were all like really blown away.
Like
yeah.
I hadn't seen a movie older than, I mean, I watched some Sinatra films, but those are the 60s, 50s and 60s. So
Yeah.
the other one, the sleeper kind of meme pick, would be Roadhouse.
That
No.
I was thinking that.
No.
Roadhouse.
But I
Kinda
think that's more
continues the
personal,
theme
which that might
of
be what
the,
this is.
Danielle wouldn't.
I mean-
I don't think it deserves it. But Roadhouse, man. I mean, we shot a zoo. We'll never get funnier than that. We'll never
I
get
think-
funnier than that.
Man.
I feel like Roadhouse though sits in the same bin as other like movies that we look back upon because they're cheesy good, not because they're good. And I feel like a part of the Big Rooms movie of the year has to be a genuinely good film. And I think it has to be between Godfather and Pulp Fiction.
You said Tombstone earlier.
But Tombstone was good, but I don't think I personally enjoyed Tombstone more than The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But I feel like it's a crime to put Tombstone up on a plinth that a Clint Eastwood Western or a John Wayne Western probably deserves to be on.
Well, I mean, it's our opinion.
It is like your opinion, man.
Like,
So, but I
Are
don't
you
know.
throwing Big Lebowski out there for?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
No,
I wasn't
it's
going
more
to,
of
but
the you know that Vine that's like, that's my opinion. That's what I think of. not
If
the
I
Big
had to
Lebowski.
pick a movie of the year on an individual level, for me, it would be Casablanca. If I had to pick a movie of the year,
I mean, you did.
I did. Well, I didn't. I picked Godfather. But for the show, as far as movies that we all loved, I mean, it's Godfather or Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
So we have to make a case
What
between
about-
those two.
That's what I was
Okay.
kind of thinking
The
this whole time. Like one of those.
What about
two.
Barbie? We just sold
Barbie was-
It wasn't on the
Well,
list, so it's
It's not on the
hard.
list.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
But
well, the other
Barbie
one I'm
was-
thinking is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I think we all liked.
Good ass movie too.
It's a really good movie.
But is it better than Pulp Fiction? Can you look in the mirror and say that Butch Cassidy
Can you
and the
look
Sundance Kid
into his eyes in this picture?
Can you say that it's better than Pulp Fiction?
Look at him. Tell him. I'm holding up the headshot for
That,
our audio
movie,
listeners.
that movie's not better than Tombstone to me.
No.
No, it's not.
yeah.
It's got hotter dudes in it, but it's not. Tombstone's the best Western.
I
movie
learned
ever.
this year that I have a thing for cowboys. What can I say?
My heroes have always been cowboys.
Amen.
Willie Nelson.
What?
What do you two think? I've been yakking for 100 years.
No, I'm with you on Pulp Fiction, Godfather. I think what's similar about them both is just the huge world that they exist
Yeah.
in, and the complex multi-storylines. But what is the advantage one has over the other?
I feel
That's
like
an
these are
interesting
hard, like
point.
obvious. I don't know.
Godfather has the epicness. Godfather has a part 2. Godfather is a more sweeping movie. But
What do you mean by that?
I feel like Godfather. What I mean by it is, I feel like Godfather kind of needs part 2 to finish the story, whereas Pulp Fiction is self-contained. I feel like that's an advantage. Pulp Fiction is also sexier.
More
I mean,
stylized,
It's a pulp
It's definitely more
movie.
stylized.
which I like the stylization of it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie hits the ground running, right
Pulp-
from that diner scene.
It also had Pulp Fiction swings to bigger
yeah.
extremes than the Godfather swings to. Godfather is a very brooding, drudge forward of a crime family story.
It's
and Pulp
kind of
Fiction
More of a real.
Pulp
It's
Fiction.
mellow and serious and dramatic, and Pulp Fiction is
It's a
sorry, go ahead.
ride. It's a ride. You've got the adrenaline shot to the heart, literally. You've got the diner scene insanity. You've got the briefcase MacGuffin. You've got the whole crazy Bruce Willis kink.
See that?
Oh
like-
my god!
that takes
yeah.
it down for me because I just thought that whole section. I just don't like the gimp. I don't like it.
The gimp was great. Like,
But
what
it
a left
might-
turn.
it-
You've
The
got the fixer,
It's
at
tense.
the cleaner at the end because they accidentally shoot the dude in the head in
Oh,
the
man.
car.
Christopher Walken with the
you-
watch.
The Sam Jackson, say what again? The whole
Oh my-
fake
yeah.
Bible verse.
Jerry Seinfeld
Big
coming out.
Kahuna Burger, the Jerry
Big
Seinfeld
Kahuna
thing.
Burger.
The fact that it's a movie that is presented out of chronological order yet makes total sense. I don't know. I feel like I
You're
don't know.
selling me.
But then again, Godfather's like, is Pulp Fiction a better movie?
Michael and Godfather. How do you top?
How do you top that as a character? It's the greatest character we have. Michael
It's
Corleone.
so good. That
Oh,
performance.
I thought you were disagreeing.
No,
No,
no, no.
he's-
Just
he's
that
the
performance
greatest.
and everybody's.
The
Marlon
Don.
Brando was
Marlon
amazing.
Brando's.
I forget his name, but the guy. What was crazy to me about Godfather was I started liking the brothers just as much as Michael. Like when Sonny died, I was devastated.
Sonny's death is and that's again another one I knew was coming. So that one
Yeah.
sucks. I'm definitely a detractor to Godfather because I've seen it before.
I think Godfather, from like a dialogue perspective, is written better. Like I enjoy, and maybe not written better. I enjoy it more.
Yeah,
Just from the darker perspective.
but then then there's
brooding.
that. But then on the opposite, like from a shot perspective, I'll never get over that hallway scene in Pulp Fiction. It's like the coolest thing to just
mean, it was
leave that.
cool.
Well, and all the
that deep
dialogue is
focus
just so
shot.
believable. Yeah.
I don't know how to decide between these two. I feel like I presented more of I waxed poetic more for Pulp Fiction, but I wouldn't be angry if we picked Godfather at all.
In my book, Pulp Fiction's above Godfather just because I like the stylization.
Why
and
does that feel sacrilegious?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
What
just
do you
Pulp Fiction is
Godfather's
just-
certainly more iconic, but I don't think that's what we're going after here.
No,
I don't even know if it's more
The thing with The
iconic.
Godfather is there's 150 movie lists you can look up that have Godfather at the top, and 0 of them have Pulp Fiction at the top. But I'm not interested in that.
Right.
I'm interested in the movie of the year. It's not the movie of all time. And I feel like as movie of the year, I don't know. What
You
do
get a
you
little
think?
bit of
Because
leeway.
you've been quiet, and we're all idiots.
Well, I have a hard time because I feel like The Godfather's like, if I think back to Barbie, like
If we think back to Barbie,
no, like Barbie like makes fun of The Godfather because men all love it, and it
That's
feels
true.
like
Oh, yeah,
it feels
yeah,
like
yeah.
the obvious choice. So that makes me not want to pick it because it's like, well, of course Godfather was number 1. It's The Godfather.
Yeah, shocker.
But
yeah.
at the same time, like I personally,
There's a reason it's always number 1.
there's a reason it's always number 1, and it's above Pulp Fiction for me. But same as you, I wouldn't be mad if we picked Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction was also amazing.
I feel like Pulp Fiction maybe got us all more excited about just
I was-
movies in
we
general.
kept
It did.
we
Like
kept-
it was more
It did.
mind blowing just watching them do some of the stuff.
We had to pause the movie at one point to feed the dogs. And we were like 20 minutes in before anything had happened. And I was like, I don't care that nothing's happened. This to look at
Yeah.
was incredible.
Yeah.
It was
We were both kind of
for-
like, we didn't expect it to be as locked in on that movie as we were.
No.
For me, it was something new.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction was.
And I was scared of Tarantino because what I knew from Tarantino going in was his
Feet.
body count and his feet. But I knew about the body count, and I was nervous. Like,
Yeah.
this is just going to be ultra violent porn, and I'm not going to be super in, which that's what Kill Bill was.
Yeah, I didn't like
And
Kill
Pulp
Bill.
Fiction was more like, I don't know. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Maybe the best movie.
It's way prettier to look at than The Godfather. The Godfather's very dark and like, but
Well,
Pulp
that's pretty in a
Fiction's
different way.
vibrant and
Pulp
colors.
Fiction
and,
checks more boxes, but Godfather checks bigger ones.
And I think-
oh, so it's
but I don't think the
do.
bigger boxes apply to
Hummus.
the 4 of us.
That sucks that hummus was audible. And we're going to have to explain that that's my Slack notification noise because we're recording on a computer I use for work and Joey won't leave me alone.
Hummus.
And
Oh,
I'm going to go
no.
close Slack now. Hang on.
hold on, everybody.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Do you want to
Hummus.
restate your point?
Hummus? Missed it.
I think this is all fine.
I don't know.
Slack now.
I don't know who heard that, but
No,
That's-
they definitely heard it. If we hear it, they hear it. Because Carl
I didn't
is
hear it.
recorded through
Cameron's
desktop
always
audio.
working.
Leave it in. Leave it in. Leave it in. Joey must be back from Kroger.
So
That man
what
lives
was
in Ohio
the point
on
you were
purpose.
making before?
My point is, I think if it's crazy to try to compare these movies.
It really is.
But if you do, I
Yeah.
think The Godfather checks the bigger boxes, like you said, for most people. But I think more for us, our reaction to those two movies, I think for Pulp Fiction was more. At least for me, because it was just like, this is something new. I've never seen anything like this. Godfather is more of a straight story. It's a deep story. It's a well-written story, but Pulp Fiction was different.
I also feel like it
Yeah.
got us excited about the list because we had
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
some
Fiction
good
did, yeah.
movies, but
Yeah.
we saw Pulp Fiction pretty early on, and it was like,
I
this
can't wait
is
to
why
watch
we're
another Tarantino.
this is why we're
Yeah.
here. This is why
Yeah.
we're doing this. It's this movie. Like,
Yeah. Pulp Fiction
So-
showed us what movies could do, and The Godfather just kind of showcases like what a good movie is.
What a great movie is.
ooh,
I
Yeah.
feel like we're talking down to The Godfather now.
Well,
and that
that
feels
is
wrong.
not the attention.
Here's a
Yeah.
problem that I'm having with picking Pulp Fiction over The Godfather is the feeling of having not picked The Godfather. You know what I mean? Like
You're
which
not gonna
one?
get whacked.
Which one feel? But which
What if
one?
they're listening?
One of them.
Yeah.
One of these feels
Al Pacino's
significantly
coming.
worse to leave off. But that's cowardice. So I feel like, I mean, is it Pulp Fiction?
I remember
I just-
enjoying Pulp Fiction more.
I think it's Pulp
Like
Fiction.
being like on the edge of my seat, like here we go, because I'd seen it before too. So
that's
like
true.
even having seen it before, I still like couldn't wait to watch it again. And I can wait to watch The Godfather again.
Right. It has
That's
that.
true.
So if we're
that
talking like rewatchability, then
Pulp Fiction's
Fiction.
there. I think
yeah.
Pulp Fiction's the movie of the year, dude.
I think
It's
so.
quotable, iconic characters that
I think the
revitalized John
reason you're
Travolta's
worried
career.
about leaving Godfather off
Because
is
it's the best
a
movie.
perceived thing. Like you're just supposed
Well,
to.
because I think
stigma.
I picked it
Yeah.
above Pulp Fiction in my list because I think it's a better movie. But that's
Yeah.
not what we're talking about here.
Right.
It's movie of the year.
This is personal.
And
Yeah.
I think Pulp Fiction is the Big Rooms movie of the year, which is pretty
I
cool.
think so.
So
Are we in agreement?
I think we're in agreement.
Did we-
We're
Are we doing it?
We
Are
did
we
it.
doing it?
We're gonna bang the
We did
gavel
it.
Look at us, guys.
in about an
Oh,
hour.
man.
We didn't have a 2-hour
Dum-dum.
show.
Hey.
So the Big Room is the Big Room. The Pulp Fiction is the Big Room's movie of the year. A prestigious
Man,
award.
I love it.
We should mail Tarantino
And you know
a
what?
trophy.
You should let him know.
We should get John Travolta to come celebrate with us.
Yeah.
Ocala boy.
We'll get right on that. All right. Well, with that, we have one more.
Look at that.
We have one more banner of business to attend to,
All right.
which is the movie we watch next. So for us, we're about to go into a holiday break. We're gonna take a week off from. We recorded. What movie did you
Die Hard.
Die Hard. We recorded Die Hard 2 days ago. So we have a bit of a break. We're gonna go do holiday stuff, not do anything for a week. So at some point, though, we will watch my favorite movie. January is going to, as a break from the list, January is going to be a month in which we watch. This decided it's a 5-week month, so this is the first week of the month. is
As a
what you're
break from
listening
the
to now.
list, we made a small
We made a
list.
small list.
Well, we're gonna watch and force everybody else to watch our individual favorite movies of the year for the next 4 weeks. And because this is a dictatorship, I'm gonna go first. And because I'm so excited, I saw that, you asshole. Just mad that this wasn't your idea. We're gonna watch my favorite movie, and my favorite movie comes with a slight asterisk. This is my favorite movie that's not a Star Wars or a Lord of the Rings film.
That's fair.
This is a movie that is one of my dad's favorites, and that I've really fond memories of watching the edited for television version of, which was fun in adulthood, learning all the real swears. Although I stand by the fake swears in this movie are 10 out of 10. This is a Burt Reynolds movie. It is
I
my
don't think I've seen
favorite
anything
Burt
with
Reynolds
him.
movie, Smokey and the Bandit. Which is a movie about, so back in the day, it was illegal to get Coors beer on this side of the country. There was a hard line. I think it was just to protect localized. Kind of how Tennessee is weird with whiskey. Like you can't get Bodega Cat in Tennessee, where Carl lives.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Because they make a lot of whiskey there. So there was a thing about, I think like the Coors line was the Mississippi. So west of the Mississippi, they had Coors, and east they had something else. But maybe that's factually wrong. At any rate, it's a movie about a beer run. And
That's
it
great.
is, as far as movies I've watched, there's not a movie I quote more outside of Star Wars than Smokey and the Bandit, because it's an incredibly quotable movie. It is a movie designed to be a summer blockbuster, so it's not serious. It's humorous. It's very groovy. It's a car movie. Dude, it's so good. I hope you guys like it. If not, I hope you at least go humor me when I quote it, because I'll start quoting it more. I tend to hold back the quotes because no one's ever seen this movie. But damn it, I love it. I love this movie with my whole heart. And I'm excited to make y'all watch it. And then y'all three be thinking of what your favorite movies will be.
Oh, I already know.
Oh, nice. So, and we're going to take our holiday break. I know it's the new year for those of you listening and watching. So happy New Year to all. Happy Christmas to those of us in the room. God save the king and all that crap. So we're going to go have a little holiday break and drink some coquito and relax and not work, even though I'm getting work slacks that are ruining the podcast.
Yep.
As it goes.
I'm going to text him. You just ruined my podcast. Thanks, dude. So yeah, we will catch you guys in 2024.
It already is.
Well, we will catch them
Yeah.
in 2024 as we watch Smokey and the Bandit. And Happy New Year and all that malarkey. And we'll see you guys later.